Hey guys, hope you're well. It's PK here. Let's talk about in this video whether you should buy right now or wait for interest rates to come down, maybe 0.5%, 1%, maybe even 2% in a year or two. Okay, I know so many of you on the sidelines. I'm just going to give you my honest thoughts from the Nile in Egypt. So we're on family vacation till the end of the year, and this is the beautiful Nile River. I'm on the Farah River cruise. It's just absolutely fantastic. You can see we're actually sailing from Aswan to Luxor, going up the Nile, and this is, like, you see the villages, the mountains, different temples going past in the background. It's so beautiful. My wife and son are just taking a quick nap. It's about 3 p.m, a midday nap. I was just doing some meditation here up on the sun deck, and I thought, well, I got time to kill. Why not do a video instead of like having my YouTube channel being vacant basically for 2 months? So let's do this. And I think it's an important video because I actually just got a message like this morning. I get like 30 DMs every day on Facebook, and I try to answer as many of them as possible. But this person was asking, hey PK, you know, it's really hard to buy a positive cash flow property right now. Why on earth should I buy now instead of waiting for rates to drop and then get a property which will pay for itself? Why buy now when it's going to cost, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a year to hold from a cash flow perspective? So I thought, let's target that, and let's target why you should buy now. And of course, these are my thoughts. They're obviously based on data. And I just genuinely want you to know, like, I have no agenda. I know I have a YouTube channel about property, but I really want to try educate you, right? So right now, the theory goes, I shouldn't buy now. Property is going to cost me, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 to hold. Of course, in Sydney, Melbourne, it's going to cost thousands, tens of thousands of hold. But I'm talking about Brisbane, actually more so Adelaide, Perth, parts of regional Queensland, parts of regional SA, etc. So the reason you should buy now, let's go through them. I haven't obviously rehearsed this video. And by the way, there's some like beautiful mosques, as you can see, go by. Where's that one over there? Beautiful minaret over there. And every now and then, you know, in the Islamic tradition, they stop to pray. I think it was 5 times a day or something like, and it's just beautiful over the speakerphones. I just love that. It's just a heavenly atmosphere over here, really. The first reason you should buy now is that, you know how that property that you buy will cost you a few $1,000s, 1 or 2 or 3, depending on the yield, you know, 5 to 7% yield. Why you should buy that anyway is because in the next 12 months, that rent is not going to go up $10 a week, not going to go up $20 a week. In 12 months time, that rent is going to go up like $40, $50, $60, $70 a week. And I'm not just making this up. This is basically what's happened ever since Australia got into this rental crisis, this rental shortage, this housing shortage. So what I mean is, even though right now it's going to cost you something to hold, even if interest rates don't go down, that rent goes up, and therefore it becomes positively geared, if not just paying for itself, the property that is. Okay, of course you need to buy 6% yield or above. So that's the first point. Look long term. And in the meantime, enjoy capital growth. I mean, the whole theory of waiting for 12 months, 24 months for interest rates to come down significantly and then buying is to say, well, I can get a better cash flow result at that point, right? Well, that's true. But if you buy in the future, your cash flow, your yield will not be as good potentially, because capital growth will occur in that time frame. And so that's what I'm saying. In that time frame, why not buy now and enjoy the capital growth? You will be paying more for the same property in 12 months time, in 24 months time anyway. And if that becomes positive cash flow in 12 or 24 months, then it's like short-term, not even pain, like short-term, I guess, you know, mindset shift. You know, it's going to cost me a couple of thousand to hold for long-term gain. In 12 months time, 24 months time, places like Adelaide, to some extent, not so bullish on Adelaide anymore. Places like Perth, you know, I've done so many videos with data. I can't share my screen right now on the Nile, but Perth, places like Brisbane, places like regional Queensland, like Townsville, other places, they're gonna go up 10%, 20%, 30%. And so therefore, if your mindset is, okay, I'm gonna wait till these properties become positive cash flow in order to buy, in order to time the market, Well, by that time, yes, you'll buy a positive cash flow property because rates will have come down, but you'll be paying 30% more, 20% more, 10% more for the same property. So 20% on, let's say, 500K, right? Like, that's a lot of money. That's like $100,000, right? So would you rather buy property now that costs you $2,000 or $3,000 to hold and experience that $100,000 gain yourself, or buy it in a year, 2 years time for $600,000, same property, but then get it positive cash flow that's going to cost you nothing to hold? $3,000 loss versus $100,000 gain. And a lot of you will say, well, look, this is speculation, but it's not speculation when we know that we're experiencing record high. Sorry about the wind, by the way. It's actually really nice, but doesn't make for good audio. It's going to go up so much because we have record immigration. We have almost no building approval. Supply is so small. Record immigration going up, and that imbalance between demand and supply mean almost all locations across Australia are experiencing, I wouldn't say like a price boom. I don't want to big it up unnecessarily. Like, for example, Melbourne has actually just in November recorded price falls. Sydney price growth has tapered out. It's like I've always said, always said, buy in affordable areas. That is property investment 101 in a rising interest rate environment, because we want that latent borrowing capacity to be fuel under the fire for house price growth, okay, as an investor. So don't buy in Sydney, Melbourne, irregardless of the yield story anyway. You need to buy where there is affordability, and the areas with the most affordability in Australia right now are, I've said this many times, Perth, okay, Perth, Townsville, parts of Brisbane, etc., etc. So even like, you know, in Queensland, they've experienced and they've just announced a increase in the first home buyers grant from 15,000 to 30,000 for brand new properties for first home buyers under $700,000 it is. So all of a sudden, that additional stimulus by the state government acts as an increase in demand. So already immediately $15,000 price rise for all new properties. Now, of course, I don't recommend you buy new properties, but then that filters out to the established property market and the whole market goes up. There's universities papers done by University of Sydney, etc., that says every time there is first home brand, stamp duty concessions, all of this provide fuel to the fire of house price growth. It's actually a really terrible policy. It just increases house price growth. So you've got immigration, and then towards the end of next year, you've got interest rates starting to come down. You want to be ahead of that game. You don't want to like make a decision when your property prices have already gone up another 10 or 20%. You need to be ahead of that game. But I mean, essentially what I'm saying is that even if you don't look at property markets too minutely, you need to make sure you understand the imbalance right now between demand and supply. And quite frankly, it's huge. And here's another minaret from a mosque. Where is it? Over there. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. So without going on and on, you know, I just want to recommend, yes, I've always said buy positive cash flow properties. I've always said you don't need to make trade-offs between positive cash flow and growth. Right now, where we are in our interest rate environment, which by the way is the same environment that existed, these rates existed when I started my property investing back in 2011. That was another cruise ship saying hello over there. This is the same environment, okay? And I had bought properties with the same cash flow that exists now. And what happens is that you don't retire off 100K passive income by buying 100 properties that give $1,000 positive cash flow. You buy properties that you can handle the cash flow of, and you allow capital growth to occur over 10, 15, 20 years, and then you sell a portion of your portfolio, take that profit, pay off the debt of the existing portfolio, and then you have unencumbered, no debt properties, 3, 4, 5 properties, where you don't need to care about the cash flow anymore. You don't need to care about the interest rate. You don't need to care about debt because there isn't any. And that's when your passive income rockets up to $100,000. So the person who DM'd me, or many that say, this is a terrible time to buy property because every property is going to cost me money. We need to think long term. We can't just think short term. As property investors, we need to understand the cyclical nature of property investment. And if you just put your wealth creation on hold, well, then you just put your retirement on hold as well. Guys, hopefully that made sense. I wasn't super articulate, I understand, but hopefully it brought you some value nonetheless. Here's a beautiful view down the river. Enjoy the music as well. Hopefully I don't drop my phone here. That's the River Nile, that's the bottom there. This is the East Bank, and that is the West Bank. I love Egypt. I love these people. I've made some friends here. And guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll try to bring you more and more of these updates as we go through our Middle East trip. My name's PK. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. See ya.